God changed between the Old and New Testaments. The idea of an angry Old Testament God versus a kind New Testament God is probably the most common theological mistake in modern Christianity. You can see why it feels that way. The Old Testament has floods, fire, and large-scale judgment. The New Testament has Jesus washing feet and eating with people everyone else avoided. It looks like two totally different personalities if you are reading casually. But here is something most people never hear. This exact idea that the two testaments show two different gods was declared a heresy back in the 2nd century of the church. A man named Marcion taught it. Church leaders rejected it directly because it clearly goes against what Scripture says about itself. Over and over again, Malachi 3:6 says it straight, I, the Lord, do not change, not I grew, not I calmed down once Jesus arrived. I do not change. Period. The God of the Old Testament weeps over Jerusalem in Lamentations. In Exodus 34, he calls himself compassionate, gracious, and slow to anger. He sits with Abraham and has a conversation before any judgment falls on Sodom. And the New Testament God, he strikes 2 church members dead in Acts 5 for lying about money. He sends an angel to strike down a king in Acts 12 for accepting worship that belongs to God alone. The book of Revelation contains more intense judgment imagery than most books in the Old Testament. Both parts of the Bible reveal the very same God, holy and full of mercy at the same time, both just and gentle, both fierce and caring. We created the 2-version split because it is easier to manage a God with only one setting, but the real God is far richer and more layered than that. When you actually read both testaments carefully, you do not find 2 gods. You find one God, whose character has never shifted by even a single degree, and he is worth knowing, exactly as he actually is. God